Hey everyone, my name is Archangel, and today I wanted to show you guys what I meant when I said bring back big maps, and why I personally think that Battlefield 6 would benefit greatly from having them added to the game. So, in this video, I would like to show you 8 maps that I played the most when I played Conquest back in BF3, and why I think that they should be implemented into the Battlefield of today. 4 maps from the Endgame DLC, namely Operation Riverside, PSR Railroad, Cebulon Pipeline, and finally Nabandon Flats, and 4 maps from Armored Kill, Alborz Mountains, Death Valley, Armored Shield, and my all-time favorite, Bandar Desert. Starting with Operation Riverside, a rather simple 5-side map with a gunship site in the middle, a few ways to go around if you want to flank, and no jets, which is something that obviously shouldn't be on a mid-sized map like this, and yet the retard designing Blackwell Fields didn't understand that. Moving on, Cebulon Pipeline, an amazing map. Had just enough vehicles where you didn't have to run for minutes on foot, but infantry still had action on sites that weren't accessible for vehicles. Unfortunately, there are very few running servers nowadays, so I'm using some YouTube footage that's not mine for this video. Next up, we have Kiasar Railroad, a mid to large map, which was a perfect choice for playing Capture the Flag, but worked for Conquest really well. Honestly, seeing this guy fly the Little Bird reminds me just how awesome it would be to have them on Siege of Cairo, Iberian Offensive, or Empire State. And now, my favorite map from BF3's endgame expansion, Nabandon Flats. This might be one of the best maps to ever come out. Not saying it's my favorite, but it works insanely well. Small sites with houses where infantry can fight CQB, and a lot of large open spaces on the sides for vehicles to fight. And just look at this vehicle drop. I seriously don't understand why we don't have things like this in BF6. This is so fucking cool that it makes me want to go back to 2012. Next up, we have Alborz Mountains. This one is kind of debatable, since in my opinion, this is the worst map out of all Armored Kill maps, since it takes way too long to get into a fight unless you're flying. But the map still works better than some of the maps in Battlefield 6. Moving on, Death Valley. I always liked this map, mostly for the evening/night aesthetic, and of course, since I like to fly jets, for the huge open spaces. Also, these maps had artillery vehicles, which were kind of fun to use, and it really added to the immersion of modern day combat. Also, huge thanks to Gal Vorbag for uploading some insane jet gameplay on these maps even now, 15 years later. And onto Armored Shield. A very important part of these maps is the fact that they always had a gunship site, so the teams would be incentivized to fight over that site. Also, the gunships were a very interesting and fun thing to play with, which was rather refreshing to see. Finally, my all-time favorite map from Battlefield 3, Bandar Desert. If you've never played Battlefield before Battlefield 6, I think it is immediately obvious how large this map is when compared to the average map nowadays. And you better believe that it worked rather well, since that map had a lot of vehicles for both teams to use. And also it had 3 sites in a small village for infantry gameplay, even though I admit that 64 players were, in my opinion, not enough for a map this big. Why these specific 8 maps, you might ask? Well, if you look at their layouts, they are tailored for Conquest, which means they would work very well for Escalation, and with some planning, Breakthrough as well. And since almost all BF6 maps seem like they have been made for Breakthrough, especially if you look at Liberation Peak or Siege of Cairo, or Escalation, which is obvious on Mirak Valley and Eastwood, I for one would love to see some maps that have Conquest as their main focus, such as Operation Firestorm, but then again, that's an old map. Mirak Valley could work, but the construction sites have loads of unbreakable walls and cannot be brought down, which is something that would definitely be possible in Battlefield 4, by the way. And because of that, infantry can just hide and be safe from vehicles almost all the time. Now, about how to make it work for Battlefield 6, since obviously the maps nowadays are made to focus the fight on 2 to 3 key points, which is fucking stupid in my opinion, but oh well. Number 1, since these maps would be bigger than the rest introduce them as Conquest Large. Number 2, make the maximum amount of players 96 and not 64. Number 3, have the sites you want the players to focus on have some rewards. This was extremely well made on all armored kill maps with the gunship sites, and extra vehicles being on neutral ground sites. And finally, number 4, incentivize the players to actually try and win the game instead of playing for a KD, such as giving BP points for winning matches. The XP bonus is useless. I believe I'm not wrong when I say that there are a lot of players that want bigger maps, and the disappointment with Blackwell Fields was obvious, judging from all the negative videos that have been made. To sum it up, the maps we currently have in Battlefield 6 are for the most part not big enough. They have layouts which are not designed for Conquest, or the vehicle pool simply doesn't fit. And considering that Conquest is one of the most played game modes, I think we should get maps that are tailored towards it. This is painfully obvious on New Sobek City, where teams have anti-air available, but there are no jets, so helicopters are nearly unplayable. This same problem can be seen on Eastwood, and something which is just terrible design is the fact that AA can lock you as soon as you leave spawn. Adding jets or removing mobile anti-air would definitely help. The opposite goes for Liberation Peak. Map is large enough, but no mobile anti-airs are available, and the lack of a third armored vehicle is painfully obvious whenever the enemy team steals a tank from E or B. The game is usually over then, with very little chance for comeback. Siege of Cairo is desperately missing a third armored vehicle, an MRAP would be fantastic, and a helicopter. As I previously said, a Little Bird would be ideal. But, of course, the biggest insult of a map to probably ever be made is Blackwell Fields. Not only is it insanely small for a map with jets, but for some reason, the base automatic anti-air has the ability to insta-kill you. But it does so only on this map. Who the fuck knows why?
Where is the... okay. And I get immediately fucking... oh, at least I broke him.
This fix is in my eyes incredibly simple. Just pick some of the most played maps from Battlefield 3 and bring them back. I honestly think it would make a lot of players happy. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.